frosted glass.
Woo! Welcome to another Death Curse Society, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. I'm your host, Red Crank. I got the Colonel and I got Zigzag. What is up, gentlemen?
Yeah, Monday. I mean, what else are you going to do? What else is going on? No football. There's no nothing. You got us. Deal with it, man.
That's not true. I have a 500 baseball team I could be watching right now, okay?
That's true.
Did you say it was Monday?
It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. My I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday.
I like that intro so much better now.
It still pisses me the fuck off. Stop doing it.
If they played like that, man, how fucking cool would that be? How epic would that be? Holy
Right?
shit.
Right? I'd love to see the Bengals just rock out like that somehow,
Oh.
you know?
Big fat instrument. Distortion. Love it.
Oh, man. We already got a bunch of the gang in here.
Woo!
It looks like, let's go here. Oh, we got Link Perry. Hi, Link. Welcome to the show. You see, I think, don't recognize that name. Thanks for tuning in. Ick is here. Ick, happy birthday, by the way. We almost missed it yesterday.
Birthday, you dirty motherfucker.
We knew we
That's
were
right.
going to get him live, so that's, happy fucking birthday. And hopefully, oh, go ahead.
Tyrone's in the house. Tanya's in the house. Dave's in the house. Luke. Luke's banned off Facebook again. He's on his alternate account. We got Alaskan in here. Son of a bitch, Seth. Seth from the Horror Syndicate is giving us shit. He says, fingers crossed for the Resort 2.
Listen, man, we need no for extra irritation when it comes to the resort at all, man. Not at all.
Dude,
That's just mean.
yeah, that's just mean. Shut the fuck up about the goddamn resort. We had enough of that already. Duarte's here. S. Michael's in the house, one of our newest allies.
That's his name. That's his name.
Luke says, love the new intro. That's not really the new intro. That's kind of the old intro. But since we're doing a live DCS episode, it's not really a Monday Maniacs episode. That's the one we're doing. Kiara's in the house. Patricia's here. Ick says thanks. Angelo's in. And Chris Faze is in the house. Woo! Everybody's piling in all at once. And
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Welcome.
Want to hear?
As Bernie Mac would say, welcome, God damn it, welcome.
We got a lot to cover tonight. Later on, we're going to be talking about a review for Benny Loves You. We're going to be doing a review of Fried Berry and also a review of Initiation. And then we're going to look at some trailers. We got trailers from the Forever Purge and a couple of fan film trailers. It's Me, Billy, which is coming out later this month from Dave McCrae. It's a Black Christmas fan film. I know Ziggy's going to be all over this one, and he's going to be very particular about it, I have a feeling. And then we're also going to look at the trailer for Roseblood, a Friday the 13th fan film that kind of ties into Part 7, kind of also ties into Part 9, and even Jason X a little bit. We're going to talk about all those connections, and it's going to be a full show. And if we have any time, we're going to talk about the Faces of Death reboot, which Ziggy wanted on this, because how do you do a Faces of Death reboot? We'll get into that later.
I guess the question is, do we need a Faces of Death reboot? And we'll think about that while we're running through this show. But yes, folks, it's a cornucopia of horror goodness this week, live and in your face. Holy shit.
That's right.
Dude.
He's going to squeeze in as many of those as he can.
Man.
You know that, right? All right, the sales pitch real quick. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, make sure you follow us on social media. Let's see if I can do this right this time. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. No, not that bell. No. Stop. Thank you. Not that bell, like this bell. There you go. Dying nuns. That's always great. Anyway, please visit our website as well at deathcursesociety.com. You can catch up on everything that we've got going on. Watch some older videos if you want. Some people like to do that for some reason. While you're on the website, make sure to visit our store at join. That's what I want you to do. I want you to join. It's like Patreon. You can become a camp counselor. You can become a Crazy Ralph. Or you can become a final girl or guy. All the perks are broken down on the website. You can check that out. And then you can go to the shop and check out all the cool new products we've got in the store. We got some blankets in there now. We got some wall clocks. We got T-shirts galore. Ziggy's wearing one of his newest T-shirts that he's got. We've also got hats, mugs, face masks, bottles, all kinds of stuff. Check it out. You'll dig it. I know. I'm talking way too fast today. Also, make sure to check us out on your favorite podcast, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, all that stuff. We're on them all. Make sure you can listen to us, too, so you don't have to see this. And if you don't join... That's right. If you don't join, you'll burn in hell.
Bit harsh, I think, but damn.
Or would you burn in hell when you do join? That's a good question.
I think that's more accurate.
That might be.
And no, Ick, there will not be any adult toys added to the site anytime soon. Okay.
I tried, brother, and they shut me down every time. The butt plug in the picture looked fabulous, but no.
The butt plug is it is kind of interesting, but it's rather uncomfortable. I have to. I mean, from what I've heard. Excuse me. Anyway.
Ow.
Well, hold on.
Not touching that.
No, I don't want you to touch it. It's right where it needs to be. All right. 4. We got some stuff to talk about here. We're getting ready to review the latest entry in the Saw franchise. So it's time for Let's Go Camping.
You're going to Camp Blood, ain't you? You'll never come back again. It's got a death curse.
Bye, Ralph.
That's right.
Dude,
Yeah. Bye, Ralph.
One of these days, we're going to add some fucking race car sounds to it. As soon as it starts going, it's like,
Or we could do your old. We could do your old bit where it's the bicycle.
Oh, I
can throw that in there.
Quick. Can't do that live.
Yeah, that's true. We are about to dive deep into Spiral, folks. It is in theaters now. It's the 9th installment of the Saw franchise. At first, we weren't really sure where we were going with this, and I need to warn you guys, we're probably going to be talking a lot of shit about some of these movies and some of the other things that we're going to be talking about, but Chris Rock gives us the approval to talk a little.
Sometimes the people with the most shit get to say the least shit, and the people with the least shit get to say the most shit. So if you want to say most shit, get rid of some of your shit.
That's right. Since we're low men on the totem pole when it comes to the horror podcast game, well, we're getting to be mid-range men, I think, now.
Yeah, we're
we get to talk a lot of shit, so be prepared. I'm just saying. So, and I think I'm going to throw it out there anyway. I think because we're live, we can change the rules as we go.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
I think Ziggy even has an exclusive clip from Spiral that we might show a little bit later.
Yes,
because that's one we can't pass up on. So
you wouldn't leave me if I told you. You would not leave me if I told you. I'll have to just show you later.
I know it. But Ziggy, get us started. Initial thoughts on Spiral from the Book of Saw.
All right, here we go. Listen, I kind of dig the first couple of Saw movies, maybe into 3, but beyond that, man, the novelty big time wore off on me, and I kind of faded away from it. Yeah, I acknowledged it. I saw them. Very forgettable to me. The first 3, not so much. I dug those, how they went. This one, it's a sequel, yes, because in this world, John Kramer exists. What he did happened. Everything happened, and now we're years later. But this story is really internal and compact, kind of one area. and it's cool. I kind of dug this movie. I walked out of there going, you know what? They kept the red herrings coming at you, but if you're paying attention, you could pretty much figure it out. I kind of dug it. I enjoyed this for what it was. I found it refreshing after all the years off, and you know, the Jigsaw thing aside a couple years ago, whatever. Okay, that goes in with the other ones. This is a new thing from the Book of Saw, but that world is very much alive and true in it, and it did work for me. This whole thing did work. A little bit clean, a little bit, you know, on the ending there, but it was good, man. I can honestly say I don't feel like I was chinsed out. They delivered on some pretty horrific effects as far as your traps go. For all you fans of the Saw rigs, they got a few good ones. One really good one got cut out, I guess, and they're saving that for something up the road. But it's a Saw movie, man, and seeing Chris Rock in this kind of role again, very refreshing. I dug it. It's a good watch, man. Definitely worth seeing once. I don't want to take all the thunder. I'll throw it to these guys.
All right. Colonel, initial thoughts?
Okay, like Zag, I'm not a huge fan of the Saw franchise. The first three were solid, and I wish they would have stopped and just made it a trilogy. Because that story was fantastic. Storytelling along with it, the traps. After that, I'll be honest, I kind of kept watching just to see the traps. I'm a gore whore. I'm like, okay, let me watch some blood. I can give a fuck less what's going on now. So I was kind of looking forward to this. I'm not going to say I was disappointed. It was a good movie. But man, for me, there were points where Chris Rock couldn't act his way off a paper bag for me when he was being serious. And he kind of lost me towards the beginning. I'm not an actor, but okay, we're in the police station. Someone says something. Fuck you. Chris Rock's like, fuck you. I was like, oh my God. There was times where his acting kind of sucked me out of the story when he was being serious. And it's nothing, it just, famous train. But, yeah, it's not that I couldn't take him serious. It's just he couldn't act serious to save his life at points for this movie for me. So it really took a few points by the way into this when we get to scoring it. He lost a few points from me. And the traps I thought were nice. I've seen better traps in the other movies. I was expecting a little bit more when it came to the traps. One in particular I thought was funny. I'll get into that later. Maybe not. I'm trying not to spoil it too much. But I said, I feel cheaped out. Granted, this is the first movie I've seen since The Invisible Man from last year in theaters. So, I mean, I was high off eating the fucking popcorn and drinking this cold Coke. Man, I was fucking in heaven. I was able to go in and take my mask off for a little bit because I was only like one of three people in the theater, the group I went with. Then other asshole showed up, so I masked up real quick, like, fuck. But, man, it was nice for those 20 minutes before the movie started. I was able to take the mask off, eat popcorn, and
fuck that. There was two other people in there with me. You know, I took my son, and then there's two other people. They were sitting 35 feet away from me. Everybody took their fucking masks off once we were settled and everything, you know? I'm not trying to shovel some popcorn into my fucking yapper with the fucking mask on. Fuck that.
Dude, no, you store the popcorn in the mask like a horse bag.
Then I'm smelling butter for the rest of the day. Fuck that.
What's wrong with that?
Well, you know.
You brought up an interesting question that's a little bit off topic, but Colonel, I want to touch on this. After 15 months of not being in the theater, was that popcorn not like the best fucking popcorn in the goddamn world at that moment in time?
Oh, man, this first few buttery morsels, as soon as they hit my lips, to quote the great Will Ferrell from Old School, it tastes so good. It tastes so good. Once it hits your lips, it tastes so good. Oh, man. Because usually I just get a small. I'll eat a little small popcorn and I'm done. Man, I got a fucking medium this time. I stepped my game up. Got a medium. I was like, extra butter. Fuck, that was delicious.
Colonel, at my theater, you get to apply your own butter as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing you push it, you hold it under there, and it goes until you move away.
Nope, not here, buddy. We still believe in people doing the jobs that they're hired for.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't get myself bagging too much. Self checkout. Like, fuck that. I don't work for this place. You do it.
By the way, you were talking about Chris Rock's acting, and we've got a special message for you, I believe.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Chris Rock does not agree.
When he's doing the comedy bits, it's fucking great. He just overacted a couple of times, man. It just really sucked me out of the story. I'm sorry.
The Forrest Gump bit is gold. Ziggy?
Yes,
Ziggy?
I disagree because that particular scene, and once you start realizing what's going on, and they get into it pretty quick with what his relationship within the precinct is, and it's integral to the story, and that's why that scene, I don't think it's as bad as what Colonel leads on, even though, you know what I mean, acting wise, I get it because he's a guy that's got to hold it in and can't really punch this guy out because he really wants to, and I know where you're coming from, but I don't know. I didn't take it like that though. I didn't take it as bad acting.
Yeah, that acting is fine for NCIS, fucking Las Vegas or fucking Albuquerque or whatever the fuck they want to do. This is a major motion picture, man, and it's his story. You could at least said a realistic "fuck you." That's all.
I'm not going to get tied up into the fuck you too much, but I will point this out about Chris Rock and his acting. Did you notice how hard he was trying not to get into his comedic style voice? I mean, he was trying to like portray like a actual conversational style, dialect, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. Just a tone in his voice. And he kept that down. Did he keep that down for you? Or, you pointed out one where he kind of crapped out of it a little bit. And yes, you're going to hear some bad Chris Rock impersonations later tonight. But did he do that well enough for you, Colonel?
No, I think that's where he lost me. I felt like he's overacting. He was thinking too much. It felt scripted. Like, we all know that, but you go to a movie, you don't, a good movie, you feel like you're watching people living their lives, not people acting. I felt like I was watching Chris Rock act.
Okay. All right. Ziggy, what about you? Because I thought he did pretty well at trying to keep his comedic voice out of it most of the way. What'd you think?
I felt like I got the character, man. He's completely jaded with every aspect of life at this point. Everything. His job, his relationships with people, his dad. He has no woman. Well, he kind of does, but he's going through a divorce, you can say. And he just hates everything. He's a hater. He's just like sick of it. And he's very just, quick to poo-poo anything you got to say. And it's just, I bought it. It worked for me.
Yeah.
I thought he was fine.
Yeah, and we'll talk about some of his more jaded ideas later. But let's talk about this. Like I think Ziggy mentioned, this was an original idea from Chris Rock that he brought to the Lionsgate Studios to continue the Saw franchise. Was it good or not? Ziggy, start with you. Or no, Colonel, start with you on this one. Colonel, start.
Favoritism? What the fuck? Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I felt like the message they were trying to send out fell a little flat. Because like I said, I understood. I don't want to say too much. But we all know what the fucking foundation of this movie was, okay? It's something that's going on in America for the past few years. I dug that. It's just, I don't think they did a good enough job conveying that message. That being said, his story worked. It was, like I said, it was a good story. I did enjoy the movie. I really liked the way it went. I still have an issue with the doll, but we kind of get answers to that later on, or it takes you a while to figure out. You get answers to that later on, but I kind of figured it out pretty quickly. And not too long horn. Toot, toot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Everything is really on the line with how it plays out and how you get your redemption at the end, your payoff, we can say. Just you really got to pay attention to everything with this movie, just to kind of to see it. You'll see it, and be like, oh yeah, but they go ahead and re-show you everything you need to know to put the jigsaw pieces together.
In typical Saw fashion. Anybody seen the Saw movie before? It's like
Right.
this every movie.
Right. It's very brisk at the end, and you're kind of walking out going, "Damn, really?"
Yeah. Well, coming from an idea from Chris Rock, you knew there was going to be some kind of intimation about police abuse of power, police corruption, something along those lines, because one of Chris Rock's main ideologies, I guess you could say, is...
What the fuck is up with the police, my God?
Yeah. So, did that play an important enough role in this story for you, Ziggy, or did it add another layer to the franchise that you liked, or what?
You know what? It's funny because it's a great detective story. It's excellent detective story. But the message hits you like a fucking lead brick in the face. If you're not picking up what they're laying down, you're dense, man. It's right there. But I still think they did it good enough. Again, without giving anything away, just how things were set up per se kind of was a little bit too neat for me, but I dug the story, man, and I like the way it connected everything. I do.
Yeah. All right. How about you, Colonel? Was that good balance into the story, or was it too much, too little? What do you think?
Man, honestly, I'd say it's probably a little too little. Like, you said, like I just said, the story they're telling. You got your message from this film. It's just, they just put a little bit too neat of a bow on the end of it, I guess, and say. It just didn't feel like, okay, if we're doing this is going to bring zero change. Maybe that's what he was just trying to tell us, but I'm like, if we're making a movie about this, maybe in the next chapter, Spiral 2, Chapter 2, Book of Saw, maybe we'll get more, I hope. I just felt like they fell a little flat on getting that point all the way across. It was right there in your face and just never quite touched your nose. They got like this. So close.
Yeah. All right. Let me get to some of the comments here. I'm going to try to... we're going to try to get to as many of them as we can, but there's some that we're going to have to pass up this time around because, like I said, we got a lot to talk about in this one. Let's stay on topic, though, mostly. Patricia says, I loved Chris Rock in the show Fargo last season. There's Peter Anthony. Peter Anthony says, what's up, guys?
Peter.
We'll get to talking about Peter here in a little bit. He is the director and I believe the writer of Roseblood, the Friday the 13th fan film that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. BK wants to know, in Spiral, does Rock make a new Jack reference?
Do you really want to know, or do you want to be surprised?
Now, I'm fucking going to spoil this one, yes.
He does.
Yep, he does.
He does.
And it's beautiful.
It's funny.
Luke says, I like Spiral. I like the direction of it. Had a little sprinkle of 7 in it. Agreed. And yeah, I agree about Chris Rock was hit and miss in it, but I give him credit for trying. This is kind of on topic. S. Michael, crack a ass, cracker. Yep, that's right. One of my favorite lines from Chris Rock. Patricia talking about the popcorn. Butter smell in the mask. I can't quite do that, but Dave says Chris Rock's best performance was in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. Spam. Yay. I think. Bonnie says, I'll wait till this is streaming. Spiral, no need to worry out that quick.
It's got one of those filters on it where it's not crystal clear. It's almost kind of, it's gritty. It's absolutely gritty and it's supposed to be, but it's got that same 7 filter on it. I wanted to bring that up a little later.
Yes, it does. And S. Michael says, oh man, another socially conscious horror movie. Call me old-fashioned, but I prefer my horror movies to focus on horror. S. Michael and I had a conversation about that over the weekend about a couple of different movies that we had seen. And, I don't mind social issues being brought up in films as long as they're handled well. And I thought this one handled it well.
Well,
it's a main topic right now.
you see cause and effect here, and which we don't get in real life. So that's where it's good. It works here.
Yes.
It's okay. It's not annoying where some movies take you right out. It's all you can. It's like, Jesus Christ, we got it, man. Tell us the story now. Let's see what you got.
Like I said, they did a very good job mixing the story with the social consciousness. Like, they did a great job. It wasn't like some of these newer movies where, like, yes, that's Michael. I agree with you. It's like, okay, fuck, come on. It's interwoven great. Like, it's
right.
Trust me, they did a good job. I mean, it's not George Romero hidden. It's in your face, but it doesn't distract you from the movie.
But and I think it's an integral part of the actual storyline, because you can't necessarily understand Chris Rock's character as well if you don't have that undertone to it. You know, he was a clean cop that ratted out some bad cops back in the day. Now everyone else in the department hates his fucking ass except for like one person, you know? And you can't trust anybody. Something like that.
I was like, calm down, Commissioner Gordon. That's what I was thinking when I said that. So.
Right. Now, when we talked about this movie 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, when we first heard about this being rebooted and it was being talked about, yes, one of the main things I was worried about was that Chris Rock would use his comedic voice in a serious film. And sadly, I attempted to do an impersonation of it at the time 2 years ago. I have a treat for you guys, because I went back 2 years and found this. Hey, I want to play a game, motherfucker! You know, something like that. If I hear that, I'm getting up and walking out of the theater. That's just it. I'm done. Yeah. So, yeah. But what's funny is, and I didn't remember this until I watched this episode again, or at least this part, I was not the only one to do an impersonation. But this one was not Chris Rock. This was supposed to be Sam Jackson by the one and only bearded menace himself, the Colonel.
And honestly, Samuel L. Jackson, if he doesn't say they better start fucking cutting jigsaw pieces off motherfucking skin at least once, it ain't even worth watching.
Well,
that was a terrible Samuel L. Jackson impersonation. My apologies, folks.
I don't remember that. Like,
I see why.
Watching it for the first time all over again. And before we get when we get back to the comments, there's a very good one I would like to point out that I've been thinking and haven't said. He put it perfect.
Okay. Which one, Seth's or Corey's?
Yes, Seth. I didn't see Corey's yet.
Okay. Seth says, corrupt police have been a theme with this series since Saw 2. True. This was slightly different, I think, but, you know, because
it's all internal. It's all within the police. It's all
right
from their side, you know. I mean, there's no innocence out there except for an occasional decoy or something, you know.
Well, and the times are different now. You know, we're almost 20 years after the first Saw. Well, 17 years after the first Saw. Wasn't it 2004? So, you know, not every week you don't have a cop killing somebody somewhere and it drawing protests somewhere in the country. So the times are a little bit different now. That's why I think it's kind of a different thing now. I don't know. Colonel, you wanted to jump in it. Talk about it.
Like I said, Seth brought up a great point, because I was even thinking that during the movie when I knew this is, you know, like I said, this is not a new theme in the Saw universe. So I agree with Seth on that. I was like, yeah, we've been dealing with this literally since part 2. And as far as up as I can remember, granted, I've literally seen Jigsaw once, so I can't really compare that. But I also agree with you. Like I said, the times are different now. This is more, I guess, on the social conscious. Like, this is up front. I mean, look at this time last year. I mean, there were massive protests all over the country. Like I said, this is more timely than, say, it was 17 years ago when the first one came out. And let's be honest, police brutality has been an issue a hell of a lot longer in the past 17 years. I mean, it's
absolutely, but
yeah,
you know, it's really in the limelight right now. So, all right, let's fun this up a little bit. Favorite traps. What did you think of the traps, and which one was your favorite? Ziggy.
Well, I'd say that first one was the rowdiest of what we saw. I mean, it was on there. You could go watch it now if you haven't seen it. The first segment is there right before the credits roll in the movie, and it shows someone getting taken out. Basically, the choice is what?
Well, we have it, don't we? Isn't that one of the exclusive clips?
Well, yes, but it has a tie-in to our regular Monday Maniac show. Where we have our hero Lion-O was on set for the Spiral tapings. Check it out. You got to cut it right there. I mean, it's when it's set in theaters. Yeah. You get a little more juice in the movie. And I actually cut a little section out where he was, because they're binding his hands in like a razor wire too. So as he's trying to feel his way out, he's cutting his hands to shit.
Right.
Yeah, he had a barb through his tongue, and the only way out, we ain't gonna say why he's in the trap. He jumps off, he rips his tongue out, and he saves his life, or he gets hit by the train. So. Yeah. As you can see, he kind of took both barrels there. Honestly, it kind of sucked.
Pretty much, yeah. Now I got a question about that clip though. Did I hear like little spurts of before the main one?
No.
Or was that true audio? Because there's a couple of moments in there where you hear like when he's struggling in the trap.
It was lining up that way, but then I found the right spot where it needed to go, and yes. So.
God damn it.
He's a hero. He's a fucking hero.
So that was your favorite trap?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Colonel, what was yours?
Because it was so fucking...
Let's see here. It wasn't that one. It could have been, but the payoff was too CGI. I was like, nope, wash my hands of that one. And the payoff did not work for me. I was like, ooh, this is cool. This is cool. Oh, this is going to be cool. Fuck. Seriously? So I'm going to have to go with the last one because I really like the way it played out. Again, like I said, I did not like too many of the traps in this one. I've seen more thought out ones, which makes sense in the earlier Saw movies, but there's one in particular I really didn't like. I don't want to say too much, but let's just say the guy is screaming to where if you're in this trap, you technically couldn't fucking scream. And that bugged the shit out of me. I was like, man, this motherfucker screaming full blown. You can't do that. Like, what the fuck? Everything should just stop. Everything should just stop. And then I got, the people. I got my oldest daughter with me looking over at me like, fully embarrassing her. So I'm going like mid rant in this fucking movie. I was low. We can hear.
That is kind of the difference.
Shut up, Dad.
The thing is with these traps, and these traps are specifically designed for one person in mind each time.
Yeah,
that matters. That's kind of different too. I mean, there were some traps meant for the other ones, but not like this, where everything was, this is what you did, and this is why this is going to happen. You know what I mean?
Jigsaw did that too, to an extent.
Well, he'd make you realize, and like I get that, the take it for granted stuff, but this was there was no clean escape from any of this. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I said, I found it different.
Yes, I think my favorite trap of all of them was the glass spitting one near the end. I thought that was kind of clever and different, and it kind of gave you. You almost had to depend on two people being in that room. One person stuck in the trap and then one person trying to get them out for that to work, because it gave them brief moments to be able to get in there and try to get somebody out of the trap. And then the glass started flying again. You had to take cover. And I thought that was a little bit different way of doing it, rather than.
That one was pretty meaty. Yeah, it was meaty.
Yeah. All right. kind of going to get into some spoilery stuff here. So if you aren't interested, this might be the time to bow out for just a few minutes or put us on mute, whatever you want to do. But spoilers in 3, 2, 1. This time it was not a disciple, but a copycat. How does that change the franchise going forward, Colonel?
Well, the most obvious way is you're not going to get a nice linear timeline here in storytelling. It's not going to be nice, clean cut. It's granted the way they left it open. I'm expecting it to be this dude's the new fucking Jigsaw. I mean, so I don't think we're going to get stories of copycats. This is literally just someone who enjoyed his work. He was a big fan. And let's just say, Jigsaw was Michael Jordan. This dude could be Kobe Bryant. I mean, I hate to use sports to compare, but it's like he's the next generation. He's going to up the game a little bit. He'll get it all worked out. If they stick with him as the killer, I really think they can bust out a good trilogy with this.
See, and they are pushing for a trilogy on this. I do know that much, but. See, I don't quite agree with you on that. I don't know if this kid was such a big fan of Jigsaw. I think he just used it as an opportunity to use as a copycat to try to get his revenge on what was going on. Don't want to get too much into it, but
that's a lot of dedication just to be a copycat.
Well, he even says it. You know how long it took me to, how hard it was to get this assignment and this thing and blah, blah, blah.
Your partner.
Yeah.
I know, but to me, he's too much. The offer made at the end tells me that was not a copycat.
Oh, right. But don't you think that explanation of him, how long it took me to get here, that's where I was kind of like, man, it was just too clean, I mean, everything had to go just fucking right for him to get there to do this, that's where I was kind of like, that's a little bit hoke. But I mean,
yeah. Well, and one of the things the one thing character-wise that really threw me off in kind of I think the first act is when the partners are introduced, Chris Rock is just like, yeah, fuck this guy. No, I'm not doing it. Literally the next scene, they're in the car together and they're like, buddy, like that. I'm like, come the fuck on. No, there needs to be a little bit more tension there.
He shit all over him in his relationship for a good 5 minutes. That was all right. That's when he was starting to, the jaded was just emulating from him at that point, like a fucking beacon. It was like, wow, sorry you're
so. Sell me.
Yeah.
That didn't sell me for some reason. Let us know in the comments what you thought about Spiral if you've seen it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite trap? Give us some information. Corey says, not interested in seeing Spiral, but I wish I could see Fried Berry in a midnight screening atmosphere at a vintage old school theater. Just sucks you need Shudder to check it out as of now. Dude, can you imagine tripping balls on acid with a bunch of other people watching that movie in a dark theater at midnight? What a hoot.
Yeah. Changes the game, dude. I saw Dead Alive in a drunken theater like that, a bar-served theater. That was so I can imagine that one, too, would be pretty fun. Well, for a while, anyway. Right, Colonel?
Yeah. Depends on how quick the acid wears off.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, Shudder is worth the $5-6 a month, dude, just to see it. You pay for 1 month, you watch that, the money's worth already.
Yep.
Yeah. Mick says, welcome, Mick. Good to see you again. I took someone to see Saw, trying to get laid. Didn't work. Yeah. In 2004? Woo!
God,
good Lord, man. Yeah, I wonder why. S. Michael says, love that Y&O, legendary versatility. And he also says something that I was kind of leading to. The Saw franchise gets its Roy. That's exactly what I was trying to say with the copycat.
You guys are saying this like that's a fucking insult.
No.
I'm
not.
Roy. It's like, okay, this is your fake killer.
I'm saying
Roy was bad.
Might be.
Don't even get me started on this.
No.
I will fight every single last person.
I'm saying this guy, he would have to do a little bit more for me to earn Roy-like status. You know what I'm saying? This guy is just driven and hell bent on absolute blinding revenge and to vindicate his murdered dad is what it's all about. That's why he's doing what he's doing. But yeah, to call him Roy, no. That's giving him a little bit too much, I think. I got to go with Colonel on that one.
Yeah.
Roy,
What the fuck is that shit about?
exactly. What the fuck's that shit about? Roy stepped it up. He did.
Yeah, he did. Some of the best kills in the entire franchise are in that.
You know, it's pretty much
episode.
kind of the same kind of motivation. He saw his son hacked to pieces. I mean,
That's
bro.
kind of what I'm saying.
But he didn't pinpoint certain people. He said, fuck it. I mean, I guess he kind of did. Well, Ethel Jr., I guess they deserved it. Well, man,
Ethel Jr. always.
Well, fucking Demon didn't deserve it. He was just taking shit.
Damn enchiladas.
I know, man. He's like, oh, damn enchiladas. This shit box is gross. Now you're going to get a bitch.
All right, fuck Roy. Let's reel it back in here on the Spiral.
All right. Anybody, anything else to add on Spiral before we throw a number at it? All right, good. So, Colonel, give us a ranking of Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Oh, boy. People are going to hate me for this one. No, not really. Like I said, overall, I thought it was a good movie. Did not feel ripped off. It was much better than most of the Saw sequels. But like I said, Chris Rock's acting pulled me out of it a little bit, so that's going to hurt it just a tad. If it wasn't for that fuck you, this movie would have got a 7, but that was enough for me to bring it down to a 6.5. Again, I still go see it, rent it, Redbox it, go to the theaters and see it if you can. It's worth the watch. It's like I said, it's a good story, but the overacting and to me the lack of, I've seen better traps. That kind of took a half point away from it, but 6.5 I think is a fair score.
All right. How about you, Ziggy?
Fuck, man. I was just with him, and it's all about him. It's his universe. He's the center of it. He's the sun in this thing, and he's everything that goes down. I tried to put myself in that place and trying to function in that world with everyone out to fuck you. I mean, his own people shot him or allowed him to get shot. Not backing him up. After he ratted out somebody. So I mean, just everything that's going against him. I kind of got it, man. I felt it also. I don't have a problem with the acting, how it was acted. Just my actual problems lie within how they went with the story down the end, down the stretch, the home stretch too. They were right there, closing in on an 8. But I had to stop at a 7.
Oh wow,
7 for Spiral.
Wow, damn guys. I enjoyed this. I thought the more police procedural element to it was a little bit different. I know we've had some of that in the other films. I get that. But like Colonel has said, and I think Ziggy has said too, I'm not the biggest Saw fan. The first movie is brilliant. The first movie is absolutely fucking brilliant and changed the game for a while in the mid-2000s. And it inspired a lot of imitators. But after the second and the third one that kept a decent story, it lost a lot of steam just trying to figure out, and Colonel already mentioned it, one thing you went back for were the traps. And I don't know. But this one, because the story was a little bit different and it was more focused on story, in my opinion, I liked it a little bit more than many of those before and after sequels. So this one, I'm going to give this one a 6.5 as well, just because it's not great, but it's close. And man, I'm expecting some big things from the next one, because they've got a world built.
Yeah.
And they've got, like, your protagonist, your antagonist, they've got those set. Now, shake that shit up like a Yahtzee cup and let's go. I want to see the next one.
And, man, this new guy, this new Jigsaw, he's nowhere near John Kramer. He's not Tobin Bell, and with that kind of charisma at all. I mean, I dig where they left it, and kind of weird, the kind of look on his face. You kind of okay. That's the first time he kind of looked off when he's making his exit. So, right. So I mean, and it's a strong ending, man. You know, I mean, it's everybody. You're just like it's like a cliff fucking hanger almost, you know. So if they don't do a sequel to this, I would be completely shocked and surprised.
Oh, it's the number one movie in America right now. When's the last time a fucking horror movie was the number one movie in America? Just saying.
Well, Halloween 2018.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think it was number one. I think it was still 2. I'd have to look that up, but I think it was. I think it ranked 2 that week because something else came out.
Also, to be fair, there's nothing else out right now. This is like the first big budget studio movie to hit the screens.
Yeah, and it didn't even break 9 million over the weekend, but that was number one. That was enough for number one.
That's so great.
S. Michael says, "Ooh baby, ooh baby." I just want to throw that on there for Colonel.
Thanks.
And then Luke says Spiral was a 3.5 out of 5 for me. That translates to about a 7, so he's right on game with us. He says Spiral is still better than Jigsaw. And BK says, I'm going to spiral one up. I bet you are, motherfucker.
10:01.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for Let's Go Camping.
Don't just sit there. Seize him. Punish him. Cut him down. I command you. I am the word and the giver of his laws. Disobedience to me is disobedience to him. Do it now, or your punishment shall be 1,000 times, 1,000 deaths, each more horrible than the last.
We will see how the Lord favors you.
No, you dare not blaspheme. He will punish you. The dog of hell will devour you. All of you. No.
Hello, Death Curse Society. I'm John Franklin, and I was Isaac in Children of the Corn, and Adam's Family, Cousin It, son. Death Curse Society. Check it out.
Hey, Zigzag here for Death Curse Society. If you enjoyed that video, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. That's how you get these things served up right in front of you every time. And we've got more for you. Check them out right there. Maybe figure out what the fuck's wrong with us. I don't know. It's all right there at Death Curse Society. Click it and see for yourself.